The headlines flicker across our screens, a low hum of anxiety that seems to grow louder with each passing day. Market volatility spikes, sending shockwaves through financial centers and living rooms alike. Inflation fears linger, casting a shadow over everyday purchases. Global supply chains strain, and the world feels just a little less certain than it did yesterday. For millions, this isn't just about numbers on a screen. It's about a growing unease, a knot in the stomach that tightens with every new headline. The uncertainty seeps into daily routines, making even simple decisions feel weighty. The question isn't if a recession is coming, but when, and how bad will it be? Each day brings new speculation, and the sense of waiting becomes almost unbearable. Tonight, we look beyond statistics and charts to the human cost of economic shifts. Behind every data point is a story, a life already feeling the impact. The story begins not in Washington or Wall Street, but in quiet corners where trouble is already here, where the signs of struggle are subtle but unmistakable. The air is thick with foreboding, a collective holding of breath as communities brace for what's next. Every conversation seems tinged with worry. The whispers of a downturn are growing louder, impossible to ignore. In offices, in homes, in coffee shops, people talk in hushed tones about what might be coming. This isn't just another news cycle. This feels different, more urgent, more personal. The sense of unease is everywhere. Families are watching budgets, wondering how to manage rising costs. Every trip to the store is a reminder of how quickly things can change. Small business owners are staring at uncertain futures, weighing impossible choices about staff, inventory, and survival. Confidence is eroding, grain by grain, as savings dwindle and hope is tested. The sense of security that once felt solid now seems fragile. It's a slow-motion crisis, unfolding with 1,000 small cuts, each one felt in homes and businesses across the country. The storm clouds are gathering, casting a long shadow over neighborhoods and cities alike. The sense of impending trouble is hard to shake. Economic indicators are flashing red, warning of turbulence ahead. The experts sound alarms, but the reality is already being felt on the ground. But behind every chart are real people, with real fears, families, workers, and communities facing an uncertain tomorrow. As we brace for what may come, we must remember, the economy is a web of human lives, hopes, and futures, all interconnected and vulnerable. And right now, that web is being stretched to its breaking point, testing the resilience of us all, and reminding us how fragile stability can be. Travel to the industrial heartland, where factories, once the lifeblood of towns, now stand silent. The hum of machinery is gone, replaced by the wind through empty halls. The promise of a manufacturing renaissance feels distant. Shift to the farm belt. Fields lie fallow, squeezed by soaring costs and unpredictable prices. Family farms, the backbone of America, face a crisis of survival. The loss of a factory or farm ripples through entire communities. Jobs vanish, businesses close, hope fades. These aren't just statistics, they're community tragedies. For many, recession is not a future threat, it's a present reality. They are the canaries in the coal mine, warning us all. Fear spreads fast, through whispers that ripple across crowded streets and quiet offices alike, through breaking news alerts and anxious calls between friends and family, each conversation amplifying the sense of unease. A factory closure in Ohio or a crop failure in Iowa quickly becomes a national concern, as headlines travel coast to coast and uncertainty grows. Uncertainty makes consumers pull back on spending, businesses delay hiring or expansion, and the dominoes start to fall, one after another. One layoff leads to another. Businesses struggle to stay afloat, tax revenues drop, and local governments face tough choices. Public services are cut, schools and libraries close early, people move away in search of stability, and home values plummet. Entire communities are engulfed by the ripple effects, as once busy streets grow silent and hope fades. Trouble spreads along supply chains and financial networks. No region is truly insulated, as shortages and delays become the new normal. Banks see defaults rise, putting the financial system under strain, and investors grow wary, pulling back from risk. The psychological impact is as damaging as the economic reality, with families feeling the weight of uncertainty at every meal. When people expect bad times, they act in ways that help bring them about, hesitating to spend, invest, or plan for the future. Fear becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, spreading from person to person, deepening the crisis. The feedback loop of decline leaves no one untouched, reminding us how interconnected our fates truly are. Zoom in on the Rust Belt, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, where manufacturing is still king, and a recession threatens fragile progress. High-paying jobs have vanished, replaced by lower-wage work. Downtown revitalizations and tech startups are at risk as core industries contract. In the Farm Belt, Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas, family farms are squeezed by debt, volatile prices, and climate change. A drop in income could trigger a wave of bankruptcies not seen since the 1980s. The struggles of these regions are intertwined. When one suffers, the other feels the pain. For too long, they've been neglected. Now, a new recession could break them. The backbone of America is under threat. The storm isn't from one cause. It's a triple threat: trade wars, automation, and debt. Trade wars have battered manufacturing and agriculture, closing markets and disrupting supply chains. Automation is eliminating jobs, not just in factories, but in trucking, offices, and even farms. Workers face the terrifying prospect of competing with machines. Debt, national, corporate, and household, has soared, making the system fragile. A rise in interest rates or a drop in income could trigger a cascade of defaults. Each force is a challenge. Together, they form a perfect storm. The Rust Belt and Farm Belt are on the front lines. Global politics, technology, and financial instability have converged. Their survival is at stake. Some parts of America thrive, others teeter on collapse. This is the great economic divergence. Booming tech hubs like Silicon Valley and Austin seem immune, but their prosperity isn't shared. In former factory towns and rural communities, jobs are gone. Hope is scarce. The gap is economic, geographic, and cultural, a chasm growing wider. A recession would deepen this divide, leaving weak states behind. Policymakers in booming regions may underestimate the crisis elsewhere. National data masks local pain. Some counties face double-digit unemployment. The country grows weaker when regions are left behind. Prosperity in tech hubs depends on national unity and stability. The fate of one America is tied to the other. To truly understand the impact of economic decline, you have to go to the towns that are living it every single day. These are places where the past lingers in every empty storefront, and the future feels uncertain. In Lordstown, Ohio, the closure of the GM plant didn't just end jobs. It shattered lives and upended an entire community. Former auto workers now juggle multiple low-wage jobs, struggling to make ends meet. Their futures more uncertain than ever before. The local diner, once a gathering place, has closed its doors. The hardware store laid off its last staff. For sale signs now line the main street, multiplying with each passing month, marking the slow erosion of hope. In rural Nebraska, a fifth-generation farm family faces the unthinkable. Costs have tripled, crop prices have dropped, and debt is crushing. Years of hard work and tradition are now threatened by forces beyond their control. The son, seeing no future on the farm, looks for work in the city. The family's heritage, built over generations, is at risk of disappearing forever. In Galesburg, Illinois, a single factory closure erased 2,000 jobs overnight, leaving families scrambling and a community reeling from the loss. In McDowell County, West Virginia, the collapse of coal brought not just unemployment, but a wave of poverty and despair that still lingers today. These stories are not isolated. They repeat across the Midwest and South, in town after town, as communities struggle to hold on. For many, the American dream now feels out of reach, replaced by anxiety and uncertainty about what tomorrow will bring. It's more than just economic hardship. It's a crisis of hope, a deep sense of betrayal, and a feeling of being left behind by the rest of the country. Factories have moved overseas, chasing cheaper labor, while family farms are squeezed out by giant corporations and changing markets. These communities feel forgotten, their struggles and stories too often ignored by those in power and by the rest of the nation. Behind every statistic are real families, real lives, being torn apart, holding on to each other as they face an uncertain future together. A crisis in a small town can quickly go national in our interconnected economy. Factory closures ripple outward, jobs lost, businesses shuttered, tax bases erode. Budget cuts hit schools, police, and public services, creating a downward spiral. States with strained budgets could face fiscal disaster. Regional banks exposed to one industry are vulnerable. Defaults threaten the financial system. A farm crisis could spike food prices for everyone. Local problems don't stay local. They reach your supermarket, your city hall, your bank. The ripple effects are real and far-reaching. Even prosperous states aren't immune. Their success brings hidden risks. California's economy relies on tech. A downturn there would have global consequences. Government responses are constrained. Debt is high. Interest rates are low. Safety nets are frayed. Past policies have often fallen short. Bailouts saved corporations, not communities. Retraining programs rarely deliver real results. Deep, structural problems remain unaddressed. This isn't just about numbers. It's about people, communities, and the future. The cracks in our economic foundation are spreading. The system is more fragile and divided than many realize. The warning signs are clear. Are we ready for what comes next?